Hello and welcome to SecurityNewsDesk TV. I'm Tom Reeve. The Safe Newcastle and Global MSc Security Seminar was an opportunity for delegates from around the country to hear from the people who are helping to shape the future direction of the security industry. The theme of the conference was the Protection of Freedoms Bill, and key among the speakers was Andrew Renison, the interim CCTV regulator, providing delegates an update on what regulation of the CCTV industry is likely to look like. Unfortunately, I didn't arrive in time to interview Mr. Renison, but I was fortunate to catch up with a number of other notable speakers. I interviewed Paul Angus from Safe Newcastle and Derek Maltby of Global MSc to ask them how the conference went.
I think what it is basically for us to sort of showcase that Safe Newcastle and how it feels about CCTV, how we want it to be used correctly and operationally effectively, and make sure we can put a message across to other people in the North East region, certainly, that we want people to use CCTV in a proper and professional manner. We want to raise the standards. CCTV does from some quarters come under question about sort of things like illegal use of it or inappropriate use of it, and what we want to do from events like this is get key speakers like Andy Renison from government and the Information Commissioner's office as well, to say, look, this is the legislation, we're here to sort of help spread that message of good practice across other users of CCTV.
Very well, lots of positive feedback. Exhibitors are happy, and they're the ones that are paying to be here. That's important, and the delegates who've travelled from far and wide, Bristol and beyond, they've said what a good informative show it's been.
You've had some really good presentations here today.
Yes, we have, yeah. Mick Neville never fails to impress, the Detective Chief Inspector from the Met Video Unit. I think it's to do with the video enhancement and or recovery of video evidence. And he was talking about the riots and the information that they've gleaned from identifying people, even though they may have covered their faces. And he'll be speaking at our next seminar in Bristol.
DCI Mick Neville from the Metropolitan Police Circulation Unit gave us his candid opinions about the challenges and successes in identifying suspects after the summer riots.
Operation Withen is the Met response to the riots and all the looting and the like. So we've now got 150,000 hours of footage that's going to be viewed. So, that's taken into account. So the Vidos, where they were set up, were absolutely wonderful. They gathered the footage, catalogued it, submitting it. Met Circulation Unit has now produced twice as many idents already as it did last year. What it does, the Met Circulation Unit receives all the images, circulates them through caught on camera firstly to the police, to the criminal informants, to partners, and if that doesn't work, then we produce posters, we circulate to Crime Stoppers, we go on the extremes, we go on Crime Watch. There's a whole system of getting those images out, and when they're identified, they come back into the Met Circulation Unit. They create an identification report, it shows the criminal's face on their mugshot, the CCTV image, we say that's them, hopefully they're wearing the same clothes. We show some previous history of their offending pattern, where they live, so we can link them to the area where the offence occurred, and then that report is managed like a fingerprint or DNA report, so we make sure that action is taken and we can judge one area against the other. So it really is making a big difference, and the critical thing with the riots, a very wicked event, but it has focused minds on the effectiveness of CCTV.
Next, we were fortunate to speak to Peter Webster of Slough Borough Council, who told us about the challenges of managing a control room in tight economic times.
Well, as I said to you earlier, we're facing some pretty drastic cuts. We've already experienced some capital expenditure reductions, so our proposed projects have now been halved in terms of their funding that's available for them. We've just heard that 2012-13 is going to be tougher than any of the previous years, probably since 2007 when the credit crunch hit originally. So we're going to be looking at some significant rationalisations, both of our manning and probably of some of the services that we're delivering.
Another notable figure among the delegates was Paul Mackey from Camera Watch. I asked him about his organisation's claim that 90% or more of CCTV systems are operating in breach of the Data Protection Act.
Camera Watch's watchwords really are education and awareness. Now, that education awareness is not just for the public out there, it's not just for the CCTV users and installers, but it's actually for the courts, the police, that's using the CCTV and being aware of the legal issues of CCTV. This is the law, this is the UK law, and people shouldn't and can't, by law, just go and put a CCTV system in, whether it's themselves or whether it's a professional organisation. There has to be a realisation there that there are legal requirements there. And with legal requirements, if you don't do legal requirements, then there are repercussions. And from a camera watch point of view, is our situation is CCTV is a terrific tool, but only if it's used correctly and legally.
Right. And Alan Gardner from London Borough of Enfield reveals his work on a new CCTV Forum, which aims to get all the stakeholders involved in CCTV to talk to each other and make joint recommendations regarding regulation to the Home Office. I'm here with Alan Gardner, who's the CCTV manager at Enfield Council, and he was just telling me about the new CCTV Forum, which I hadn't heard about before. So could you tell me, what is that?
Well, basically it's newly formed, and it's about to have its first inaugural meeting once we decide when and where that will be. But basically it's based on the Home Office National CCTV Programme, where one of the 44 recommendations was to set up what was called back then the Independent Advisory Board, which would be a collective of major organisations in the CCTV sector.
So you've taken the initiative now and set up the CCTV Forum.
Well, it's still in the stages of being set up, especially trying to get this set up prior to the legislation that's coming, which we're all aware of. So the idea is we're in place, we formed a collective, and then when these legislation and code of practice get developed, people can sit down, training providers, technical people, standards, they can all be discussed across the whole spectrum, as much as possible anyway.
So when do you reckon the first meeting is going to be?
I'm hoping early in the new year. I'm just waiting on a couple of others, organisations that have board meetings to decide whether they're going to join. It's coming on. I say 80% of people have accepted.
Right. So this organisation will come together, discuss, make recommendations, which will then be put forward to, well, hopefully agree recommendations, and then put those forward to the Home Office for development.
Discuss issues at a reasonable level, and then they would go to their own organisations and their members and ask for help, maybe set up work group. As I say, I was invited to the Home Office last week by Andrew Renison, the forensic science regulator, and Alistair Thomas, who's the Home Office guy leading on the Freedoms Bill. So, and they both thought it was an excellent idea and an excellent way forward for improving consultation, which is what they really want to stress is their biggest issue, is consultation across this huge sector. So by bringing the big players together, it makes their life easier, and they love the idea.
Right, okay, well brilliant. Well, that sounds like a really good initiative, Alan, and thanks very much. It's good to catch up with these players in the security industry. I hope you enjoyed today's extended webcast, and I hope you'll continue to watch Security News Desk TV. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.